the mic. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are just about to start the session in the next coming 5 minutes. We are requesting all of us to be settled, and we should start in the 5 minutes. We're just having a final briefing with our mother, the Deputy Minister of Women in the Presidency. Thank you very much.
Street, seems everyone I meet gives me a friendly hello. I guess I'm just a lucky so-and-so. The birds in every tree all sing so merrily. They sing wherever I go. I guess I'm just a lucky so-and-so. Well, if you should ask me the amount in my bank account, I must confess that I'm slipping, but that don't bother me, 'cause confidentially I've got a dream that's a pippin', and when my day is through, each night I hurry to a love that's faithful, I know. I guess I'm just a lucky so-and-so.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We would need an energy song. We need an energy song. Technical person, you know the song? Yes. Before we start.
Oh, bawo, ndiyacela uyigcina impilo yami. ukhusela umoya wami.
Yes, we have to thank God
Hey,
for this day.
hayi ngicela nimi nginyawo ke manje. Kuyonakala ke manje.
Yes,
Kuyonakala ke manje. Silent.
yes,
Silent.
yes. Come on, women, stand up. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Osomandla uzuyigcina impilo yami. Uphinde ukhusele umoya wami. Ukhusele umoya wami. Somandla uzuyigcina impilo yami.
Oh, yeah.
Uphinde ukhusele umoya wami. Osomandla uzuyigcina impilo yami.
Oh, yeah.
When uphinde ukhusele umoya wami. Ngoba mna ngizohamba.
Hey. Hey.
Ngithole
Okay. Hey, hey, come on. Okay.
ngoba mna
Ohamba.
ngoba mna
He's a faithful God, an amazing God. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is the day that we've been waiting for, is the Circle of Global Business Women. To our international guests, to our viewers in our YouTube, in particular, His Excellency and SG Wamgele from the Africa Free Trade Agreement, our dearest mother, Mamuzanele Mbeki, we are humbled and honored. To our key people that have made this event a success, thank you so much. His Excellency Aurélien Lechevallier, the French ambassador, our dearest mother, Professor Hlengiwe Mkhize, our dearest sister, who is also watching live, virtually in Canada, in Toronto, Her Excellency Sibongiseni Dlamini-Mntambo, the High Commissioner of South Africa in Canada. The board members for the Circle of Global Business Women, the Advisory Council for the Circle of Global Business Women, the members for the Circle of Global Business Women, and the key support and pillars of energizers today that are going to give a message of support. Professor Bonang Mohale, Ms. Pumela Salela, our dearest sister all the way from the United Kingdom. Yay! Thank you. Can we give a round of applause? Marge Etheridge, based in the US, in Atlanta. Our dearest sister, the COO of 22 on Sloan, Ms. Gamu. Thank you for being a pillar of the strength for the Circle of Global Business Women. We are indeed humbled and honored. That's what sisters do. We lift as we climb. I see you, sis. You see me. And that's the tribe that we're creating globally as the Circle of Global Business Women. A tribe that is supporting each other. A tribe of women that are intelligent and innovative. Our dearest partner, the French-South African Chamber of Commerce and Industry, that would witness a signing of an MOU with that institution to mainstream women in the sector. We have our dearest doctor, the President, Dr. Guenon, and our dearest sister, the General Manager, Miss Amy Ashworth, and our gentle giant, Mr. Peku. Can you stand up so that they can see you? Mr. Peku walked us the journey the first day when we started the Circle of Global Business Women. He's a champion of women leadership globally. And all of us, as we know that, French is leading on the generation equality in Mexico. And here we are today, Mama. We are leading as the Circle of Global Business Women because of gentle giants like Mr. Peku, who has given us an opportunity to present our case, to be who we are as the Circle of Global Business Women. We always say that, Mama, we know our issues very well. We know who we are in the marketplace. But at the end of the day, this is from Africa to the world. Let the world welcome us. Let the world embrace us. Let the world see the wisdom and the power and the knowledge that we have as the Circle of Global Business Women. We are working with men. Our chairman, please stand up so that they can see you. We are displaying what generation equality is all about, Mama. The chairman for the Circle of Global Business Women Board, Mr. Munya Duvera. On the other side, here is the chairman of the Directors Association. We have partnered with the Directors Association to mainstream the role of women in serving as board members. As we speak right now, we've got 20 women that have been trained within the Circle of Global Business Women that are ready to take their rightful position and demonstrate, because the critical thing, Ma, is a skill that you demonstrate. It's not about being a woman. It's about what it takes to be a woman. The leadership that you demonstrate in a board meeting. The leadership that you demonstrate in the things that you do. So we are not just talking about women empowerment, but we are demonstrating the power that we have. But we've been having this power for quite some time, Ma. You know that. But we are saying, as a collective, we are taking that rightful opportunity. Our dearest sister, can you stand up so that they can see you? Ms. Humaria, the Trade Commissioner from the Pakistan Embassy, Mr. Beku, we are humbled and honored to have you as our pillar. Thank you very much for being here and for walking us the journey. We're really humbled and honored. So this is who we are as the Circle of Global Business Women. I don't want to waste my time because there are people that would speak better than me as the program director. And now I'm going to call my dearest sister, who is going to actually come and speak the real language, which is the French language. Come, dearest sister Aris Afaya, our board member who's responsible for French-speaking countries in the continent and globally. Can you give her a round of applause?
Okay. Bonjour, Monsieur l'ambassadeur de France. Bonjour, Monsieur Bekiu. Et bonjour toute l'assistance. Nous sommes très contents d'être ici à 2201 pour l'ouverture de l'organisation. Et je dis bienvenue, nous sommes très contents. Et tout en espérant que cette organisation va aller très loin. Nous ferons de grandes choses, nous allons aller vers le monde, prouver ce que nous sommes capables de faire. Donc, moi, je dis merci beaucoup. Nous disons merci beaucoup et nous vous souhaitons la bienvenue à tous les invités, monsieur l'ambassadeur, monsieur Bekiu. Bienvenue tout le monde. Merci.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. And now we're going to actually listen to a gentle giant globally, a country that is leading the generation equality globally with Mexico, working with UN Women. And as the Circle of Global Business Women, we are part of that initiative. We have just seen what has happened in Mexico, Mr. Beku, on the declarations that they've done. And this is a marathon. Today we're here in South Africa talking about the same marathon of actually making sure that generation equality has been announced and generation equality from the presidency is existing. And it's not going to end any now soon. We are going and we'll actually make sure that we take our men along, because that's the most important thing. Men play a critical role in the empowerment of women, but not only in the empowerment of women, but in making sure that the community, the society at large is protected. And us as women, we are taking our rightful position. Thank you, technical team. The message from His Excellency, the French ambassador in South Africa.
Distinguished guests, dear friends, all protocol observed. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to say a few words to celebrate the official launch of the Circle of Global Business Women. Since 2019, the Embassy of France has been supporting the development and strengthening of this organization, alongside with other entrepreneur networks in Africa. Yes. It's a pleasure to witness this important milestone for the Circle of Global Business Women as an organization and for the cooperation between South Africa and France. In their own words, and I quote, "The mission of the Circle of Global Business Women is to connect and create a global community of women who are empowered. This is a rather ambitious program, but one of critical importance. There are three main ideas that stand out for us: empowerment, connection, and a global leadership shift." On the topic of empowerment, studies show that women on the African continent are particularly keen entrepreneurs. Encouraging women's entrepreneurial mindsets can leverage considerable economic and social impetus. Beyond economic justice, it leads to empowerment, increased dignity, reduction in poverty coupled by inequality, and help the fight against gender-based violence, all factors that stifle the growth of women around the world. This leads up to the second idea, connecting. Networks are key to supporting entrepreneurs, and in this case, women entrepreneurs. Overcome the many hurdles and hardships that come with entrepreneurship. From turning your idea into a business model to getting it off the ground and keeping alive, entrepreneurs rely on their networks and the sharing of resources. Entrepreneurs' networks like the Circle of Global Business Women provide platforms to share skills and resources and help their members access more opportunities. Last but certainly not least, there is the third concept, the third drive reflected in the Circle's mission to create a global leadership shift.
Yeah.
This is fundamental, and it concentrates on the issue of gender equality. This year, Mexico and France are co-hosting the Generation Equality Forum, an international event convened with South Africa by UN Women to accelerate progress towards gender equality and women and girls empowerment. In business, as in most sectors, we are far from gender equality. This leadership shift will only happen if women at all levels and from all walks of life push for this change and make sure to lift other women up with them as the goal. For all these reasons, France is fully committed to supporting women's entrepreneurship. Once again, congratulations to the Circle of Global Business Women for their achievement and their drive to contribute to women empowerment and equal opportunities worldwide. Thank you.
Wow, wow. Thank you, Mr. Peku. Thank you, Your Excellency, Ambassador. I'm really humbled as the President for the Circle of Global Business Women. Thank you so much for this powerful message. This was a secret to me as a program director. I didn't see this video, and I just feel emotional right now. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now we're going to actually have our dearest sister, Her Excellency Sibongiseni Dlamini-Mntambo, the High Commissioner of South Africa in Canada.
I find a way to be true and change my...
His Excellency Ambassador of France, Lechevallier, President Sindi Mzamo, special guests, ladies and gentlemen. Madam President Sindi Mzamo, congratulations to the Circle of Global Businesswomen for this huge milestone. We couldn't be more proud. I've been asked to speak about the role of women in the global economy and trade. Before I get to these global macro issues, I thought I would take a step backwards and acknowledge the trauma our society has been through this year. Much has been said about the devastating impact of the pandemic. Within the coverage of unprecedented times, we have heard talk of a she recession. This time suggests that, unlike previous recessions, which have impacted male-dominated sectors like manufacturing and construction, the economic upheaval of the last year has disproportionately affected women and female-dominated sectors like hospitality and retail. But it is not as simple as saying that the economic impact of this pandemic was greater for women because their economic sectors were affected more. Earlier this year, The Economist magazine argued that the pandemic laid bare the disproportionate division of parenting duties. Yes, more women left the labor force than men during 2020, but this impact was most noticeable on a particular demographic, that is mothers. It seems, ladies and gentlemen, that we still have a long way to realizing this dream of equality. Let us look at women's representation in the boardroom. The background I painted just now makes it clear that the role of women in the global economy and trade is diminishing. How then do we increase women's participation? One solution might lie in representation. A recent Bloomberg report looked at the boards of listed companies in G20 countries. The results first filled me with a little bit of pride. South Africa's Johannesburg Stock Exchange was ahead of the G20 average for both the proportion of women who hold board seats in the top 100 listed companies and for the proportion of companies with boards led by women. The pride at being ahead of G20 peers soon left me when I looked at what I was celebrating. Women only hold 29% of board seats in the top 100 listed companies in South Africa. The G20 average for this is a distressing 20%. As for listed companies led by women, with a mere 11%, South Africa is 2 times the G20 average of 5.5%. There is clearly something amiss in society when we instinctively celebrate when women get the crumbs falling from the global economy's pie. Women in the cutthroat echelons of boardrooms are undoubtedly struggling for recognition. The partnerships that the Center of Global Business Women has with the Guenon Institute of Business Science and the French Embassy in addressing this challenge is really admirable. It is also commendable that the Center of Global Business Women has supporters like Professor Mohale, who walk the talk, given the latest board appointments at Bidvest, the strategic partnerships with the South African United Business Confederation, and Generation Equality gives us so much hope for the future. But there are challenges for women across all spheres of global business. Let's take a look at the African Continental Free Trade Area. Ladies and gentlemen, January of this year brought with it the commencement of the African Continental Free Trade Area. The World Bank described it as the largest free trade area in the world, measured by the number of countries participating. It goes on to say that it has the potential to lift 30 million people out of extreme poverty. So what role can women play in this continental economic expansion? The agreement establishing the African Continental Free Trade Area recognizes, and I quote, the need to build and improve the export capacity of both formal and informal service suppliers, with particular attention to micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises in which women and youth actively participate. Women, who are estimated to account for 70% of informal cross-border trade in Africa, will be well positioned to tap into regional export destinations and use regional markets as stepping stones for expanding into overseas markets. Close quotes. But the involvement of women faces many obstacles. The future report on making the African Continental Free Trade Area work for women and youth identifies challenges around limited property rights for women farmers, barriers in accessing finance, productive resources and other assets, and the tendency for foreign direct investment to flow towards high productivity and better established exporting operations to capture scale economies may enlarge the gender income gap. The need to grow women's involvement in the global economy and trade is essential for another sovereign reason. The economic upliftment of women is not just a nice to have, a box to tick on employment equity reports. It can be a matter of life and death. His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa, on the occasion of the 34th Ordinary Session of the Assembly of Heads of State and Government of the African Union earlier this year, reminds us that, and I quote, "It is our firm belief that the economic emancipation of women will go a long way in ending the scourge of violence against women and girls on our continent." The future of work. Looking ahead, what has to happen for women to play a great role in the global economy and trade? Early in 2019, the International Labour Organization's Global Commission on the Future of Work, co-chaired by His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa and His Excellency Prime Minister Stefan Löfven of Sweden, released a report, Work for a Brighter Future. Among other things, the report cites the need for a transformative agenda for gender equality. Although the report was released 2 years before recent reports of how mothers are disproportionately being affected by recent economic challenges, it reminds us that women still perform 3/4 of all unpaid care. It calls for a societal rethink, arguing that more value should be placed on unpaid care and that pay transparency would be needed to address the gender pay gap. 2 years before the Bloomberg article showed us how poorly women are represented on global boards, the report stressed that it is critical that women's voice, representation, and leadership are strengthened, whether in the formal or informal economy, in government, workers' organizations, or employers' organizations. What are the recurring themes? There seems to be recurring themes in the writings of women in business. Firstly, gender equality begins at home. Put differently, a woman's economic contribution does not begin when she leaves home and takes up employment. Instead, society needs to rethink how it values unpaid care work. Secondly, women need to be represented across societal sectors, including in still male-dominated boardrooms. And thirdly, we need to continue to uplift each other, hold each other, and not close doors behind us. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, the time to create an economic world where all have equal opportunities of success is, of course, yesterday. This is Agent, speaking at the Geneva Ministerial of the World Trade Organization in 1998. Nelson Mandela reminded us, and I quote, "Rules must be applied without fear or favor, but if they contain prescriptions that cannot be complied with by all, or if the results benefit too few, then injustice will emerge. Then it is prudent to remember that no amount of rules or their enforcement will defeat those who struggle with justice on their side." I end quote. Ladies, our time is now. We have justice on our side.
Whenever there is you to hold my hand.
Indeed, our time is now. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Ambassador of South Africa in Canada, Sibongiseni Dlamini-Mntambo, for these powerful words, for the powerful support that you have given us. Yes, indeed, Mr. Beku, South Africa is leading when you look at the JSE listed companies in the appointment of women in boards globally. We really appreciate your support, and also with Dr. Guenon, looking at the Chamber of Business, which is the French South African Chamber of Business in South Africa. We're going to still push the numbers. Also looking at the African continent. Hey, the Africa Free Trade Agreement, Maggie, is alive. And if we look at the population of Africa, we are talking about a 1.2 billion population. We are talking about a 6.3 trillion US dollars in terms of GDP. We're talking about the largest World Trade Organization globally, which is headed by His Excellency Wamgelemene SG, who is going to be talking later on. Can we just give ourselves the round of applause, the connection that is coming together? Now, there is a very important person that is going to come on stage, my mother. A mother that doesn't want to be introduced about her qualifications. Look, she's already walking to the stage, so she wants to block me. Professor Mkhize, the Deputy Minister for Women and Youth and Children in the Presidency, who is a former diplomat as well. Mama, the floor is yours. I know you don't want me to speak.
Madam President Sindi, I'm really, really honored to be part of this initiative. I'm gonna build on the established protocol. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge really all our ambassadors and higher commissioners who have committed and actually offered to make a contribution to this initiative. And we really appreciate that. We thank each and every one of you wherever you are. But also, Madam President, allow me to acknowledge His Excellency, the Ambassador of France in South Africa, Aurélien Lechevallier. I think I'm better than you and of course, all other business representatives who are here. But also, I would like to acknowledge all government officials who are here truly. If you can stand up and they see you, both of you, I'm really honored to see you today. Please, if you can stand up. I'm really proud and honored to see both of them. Having worked with them and having seen them rising, taking strategic position, it's always encouraging to say, even if you are in government, it's not a dead end. If you have a potential, you will rise. So coming back here, you know, all of you, this is history in the making. You know, women, historically, they fit in with initiatives of men and everybody else. But where women have come together and said, we want to take this initiative, it's history, and it's really appreciated. Well, maybe let me say a little bit about our department. I'm the Deputy Minister in the Presidency. The department there which runs the President's program is Women, Youth, and Persons with Disabilities. Basically, we strongly believe in women economic empowerment as a buffer against poverty, unemployment, inequality, and gender-based violence and femicide. So I thought it's mentioned that in the context of this initiative. Sometimes we describe the challenges we have. If you look at all our documents, we talk about the triple challenge. But today, I think what has encouraged me is that we are talking and what should be done for women to come out of those triple challenges. Of course, the challenges we women have are a global phenomena whereby women face high levels of marginalization and discrimination. Some are employed in low-paying jobs, low-skilled jobs, and given reproductive role and gender divisions of labor, many remain invisible in the economy. So our department welcomes this partnership and thank the French Embassy as well as all the prominent partners present here, as I've acknowledged some today, for taking the time to recognize the overflowing potential in the cycle of global business women. I'm saying the potential because the initiative on its own can only succeed through strong, committed, sustainable partnerships. Otherwise, women end up fighting amongst themselves because they don't see progress. They don't know what they're doing. Why are they here? But through partnerships like this one, I believe it's going to help you to realize your objectives. All of you coming together from different organizations, combining your insights, resources, creativity, and collective leverage will surely create a significant impact and contribute in the GDP and reduce unemployment. Of course, you know, we gather here, it's a Freedom Month in South Africa, but also this is said to be a year of Charlotte Maxeke. Maybe just briefly, that also is important, is relevant for business people because it talks to resilience, commitment, sacrifices. When we talk Freedom Month, we're acknowledging the sacrifices and hard work and the commitments of other people which helped us to be where we are today, being a democratic country. So we are saying we are in the year of Charlotte Maxeke. She's known for her contribution towards tackling gender inequality. She tackled it wherever she went. When it comes to land ownership, she was there. Job opportunities, she was there. So I really hope within this initiative, people will use the strengths of those who walked before us before to really fight for, and make sure that you succeed and you achieve. You don't have an opportunity to abandon your commitment because the going is tough. You have to learn from those who walked before you that they didn't abandon their struggles because the going was tough at that time. So you have to continue and make sure that you achieve your objectives. On our side, I think we struggled a lot for things like representation of women at all levels and all spheres of government, and it's common knowledge that the statistics is not so good when it comes to board representation. It's not so good when it comes to companies which are registered in the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. So with this partnership, I really think and hope that women will start there, because in politics, that's where we started. We said, at least in terms of numbers, we should be there, and then move higher in terms of achieving higher objectives. So even with this initiative, I hope one of the objectives will be to plant women wherever economic decisions are made and make sure that they succeed. Women are not a homogeneous group. They are struggling for financial and economic inclusion. Some would like to be owners or entrepreneurs of micro and small enterprises, informal cross-border traders. Some want to be small-scale traders and vendors, and so on. Some want to be in agriculture, manufacturing, services, and the green economy. And so it's always important to make sure that there's a home for people to flourish. and the partnerships you look for should really meet the aspirations of all women, because people can only succeed if they feel that their aspirations are being met. In the agricultural sector, where many women can be found, they remain really as laborers. Some of them, they don't own anything. They are not in production. They have no access to markets. So whatever they're doing, not to talk about manufacturing and technology, which today will help a person to access global markets. So it's important to realize that those are all the struggles that this initiative will have to face to make sure that you empower, you skill women so as to take them beyond poverty, the survival, but to actually begin to be successful. Women in manufacturing face similar changes. Government has come up with special development zones, with incentives, but we have more than 10 special economic zones. But in almost all of them, we get multinational companies to the country, and women do not benefit from them. I visited a few just to see what is happening. I will meet powerful global players in business. And when you ask who are your partners, whom are you empowering, in the main, it will be men. So with this big name of this global initiative, I really think you'll be able to claim even those incentives which they get for empowerment. And when talking to officials in relevant departments, they will say, oh no, you see the problem. We allocated some for women empowerment, and there has been, people have not shown interest. So you have to aggressively reach out, follow the policies through, and make sure that you use your umbrella body to say, we have this initiative, any new special economic zone, we will want to participate. And that is important, because sometimes people think, business will be like what we do with welfare support of women. You have to be aggressive. This is a men's world which is competitive, and people, modesty doesn't work all the time. You have to, within rules and principles of good governance, not to embark on corruption or any of the bad tactics, but make sure that you achieve something. I just want to emphasize what the Higher Commissioner was talking about, the importance of the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. For me, it's beyond formulating policies. Thinking about this Africa Free Trade Agreement, Continent Free Trade Agreement, is that it's not a policy, but it's a mechanism. It's the creation of the largest free trade area in the world. The agreement connects our 55 countries and 1.3 billion people across the continent, with a combined GDP economies values at about $3.4 trillion US. I mean, the world, according to the World Bank, this has the potential to lift 30 million people out of extreme poverty. The question is how? How do we ensure that this initiative is part of that? However, to achieve its full potential depends on putting in place not only policy, but mechanisms. This organization I see as part of a mechanism to provide leadership and coordination of efforts. Trading under the historic AFC-FTA agreement commenced in January 2021. Coinciding with this historic occasion is the start of the new decade of women financial and economic inclusion, 2020 to 2030, which was adopted during the 33rd Ordinary Session of the AU. So what a timing. It's perfect to be organized to launch a structure just as the start of the opportunity, which is supported by all countries. This trade agreement provides a unique opportunity to competitively integrate into the global economy, reduce poverty, and promote women inclusion. But also, we are on a new era where we're talking about the campaign for generation equality. In other words, it's an opportunity to say there were women who were not born in 1995, who were not in Beijing when the women came together and spoke about economic inclusion. But here we are today. We have those younger women whom we must make sure that they are not left behind in all our campaigns. Older, younger women should work together so that we don't have a situation where 10 years down the line, we begin to talk about people who are still talking about inequality, poverty, and unemployment. Just to remind you, in 2015, world leaders adopted the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development Goals. SDG 5 speaks to empowerment and equality for all women and girls. By 2030, it is expected that the world should meet the targets set out in the agenda, one of which is Planet 50-50 by 2030. That means that we have about 9 years to reach gender equality, equity, and the empowerment of women. When our heads of states adopted the SDGs, we were saying, oh, 2015, we've got about 15 years. But today, we know we are left with 9 years. So initiatives like these will really help us to get there. And so one of the things I really want us to think about within this initiative is that to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals and Agenda 2063 of the AU, to ensure women's economic and financial inclusion, it will really be a gift that will leave for future generations. They will appreciate the freedoms we fought for because they would have been taken out of poverty and marginalization. We will leave them with a dignified country which is equitable and has opportunities for virtually everybody. So I wish you well. As a department, we'll closely monitor whatever we're doing and support as much as we can. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ma. I know you cannot talk about your own successes. We are humbled by President Cyril Ramaphosa, His Excellency, for appointing the first female DG in the country, DG Baleni. Let's just give a round of applause for that appointment. It shows the commitment globally that the President is really serious about gender equality. And just yesterday, on the Defense Command Council, we have seen our beautiful sister coming up strongly, Major General Talita. Can you give a round of applause for that? We are really serious about generation equality, and we really want to thank the Women's Ministry for playing a critical role in making sure that women are still coming up in these highest echelons of government structures, working very closely with our President, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa. Thank you very much, ma'am. And we have a very beautiful, because of protocol, COVID protocol, I'm not going to hand it over to you because it must be sanitized. We'll have to do it later. It's a very beautiful diary, which has been donated by our sponsors, Africa Grain and Seed. Where are you? Zandi, the Vice President, can you come forward so that they can see? It says we believe that as women leaders, we must play a role to lead in this challenging and unpredictable world. This is the way out of mediocrity and the highway to growth and greatness. This is our mantra as the Circle of Global Business Women. To you, Ma, thank you very much. And this was donated by Africa Grain and Seeds. She is the Vice President. Can I put it in the packet? Yeah. Thank you very much. The minister is going to be on her way now. Can I tell you something? She was committed with the cabinet meeting with His Excellency, President Cyril Ramaphosa, who's chairing that cabinet meeting. But because of the importance of what we are doing here, they agreed, both of them. Can we just give them, the two of them, the round of applause? It's the commitment that the President and Mama are showing in the women's ministry to actually drive the women agenda in South Africa and globally. Because, Mr. Peku, you know, when a plane takes off, it doesn't take off just from a gravel. It takes off from the airport. And that's the reason why we're taking off today. That's the reason why she's here today. We are taking off from South Africa to the world, supported by the President himself and the Ministry of Women and Youth. Thank you very much, Ma. And you send our regards to the President. We are humbled and honored for the gesture. Thank you so much. As Mr. Peku and Dr. Bjorn walks out the minister, I would like to actually give a very lovely, background of why we're existing today. I've seen our board members. I'd like them to come in front. Zuki Ntlangula and Zuki Lungu, where are you? Oh, there they are. Because of COVID regulations, and there is Indrani Govender, come on stage. We've got our dearest sisters that are not here today because they're not feeling well. So we decided that they must just watch virtually, and we wish them, a quick recovery. These are the engines. Come on stage, my dearest sisters. Ari Safana on stage, who is another board member that I've left. Please, if you know you're a board member, stand up. There is our chairman. Please, chairman, the only man in the board. Maggie, you are the board member for the investment arm. Come through. Thank you so much. Can we have the chairpersons of committees that are here today? They know themselves who they are. Yes. The chairpersons of committees, I don't have to call your name. You know who you are. Stand up on the stage. there's no space because of COVID. I just want to introduce you to the team that has made this event successful today. Can we give them a round of applause? Because of COVID regulations, I'm not going to keep them long in the stage. Thank you very much, Tim. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well done. If you see this beautiful work that is displayed, Mr. Peku, this is the team behind the President for the Circle of Global Business Women. And thank you very much. Because you're supposed to be on the stage as well. But you're forgiven. And that's another gentle giant as well that has really helped us to actually drive this program for the Circle of Global Business Women. As we are waiting on Dr. Guenon, and now we're going to actually witness a signing of the MOU between the Circle of Global Business Women and the French South African Chamber of Commerce and Industry in South Africa. As you have heard speakers talking about the mainstreaming of women in the private sector, the women representation on boards, this is exactly what we're going to do, working with our partners, which is the South African Chamber of Commerce and Industry in South Africa, because we are actually looking at coming up with a very strong program. And that's why today you saw the chairpersons of those committees coming up on stage, so that we'll be able to actually be mainstream within the South African, within the French South African Chamber of Commerce's committees, where our chairpersons, where our women, where we have experts that are going to serve in those committees to drive the agenda of women empowerment, so that we can talk about a generation equality that is actually achievable. So without wasting my time, I'd like to call President Guenon and the chairman of the Circle of Global Business Women on stage to do the signing. Your pens. Thank you very much. The first signatory and the Memorandum of Understanding is going to be Dr. Guenon from the French South African Chamber of Commerce. Yes, you are not loud enough. Yes. Then our second signatory is the chairman of the board, Mr. Munya Duvera. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. We are humbled and honored. This is what the about. We are women that are innovative and intelligent, that are action-orientated. Surely what we see in this MOU, in the next coming few weeks, there's going to be an implementation plan. Already, I'm sure our dearest sister, the General Manager, Amy Ashworth, when she's actually going to come on stage and actually, have a message of support, she'll actually articulate some of the, programs on the way forward. Thank you very much, Amy. Can we also have another round of applause? Thank you. Thank you very much. Now we're going to have a powerful message of support. I think all of us who have heard the ambassador of France in South Africa talking about, Africa, the implementation of the Africa Free Trade Agreement. We have heard Her Excellency, the South African ambassador in Canada, talking about the role of the Africa Free Trade Agreement. Not only the role, but the role when it comes to implementation. And also the Deputy Minister in the Presidency spoke intensively about the implementation of the Africa Free Trade Agreement. We have a surprise for you. From the one and the only one, His Excellency, the Secretary General for the Africa Free Trade Agreement, Mr. Wamgelemene. Thank you very much, technical team. Thank you very much. We are trying the connection. As we're actually working with the technical team, I'm going to call my dearest sister, Mrs. Pumela, Salela, the UK, the Brand South Africa UK representative, to come on stage and give a message of support.
Thank you very much, Program Director. I want to bring up the energy levels again. The second most popular song in South Africa after the national anthem is Shosholoza.
Yes.
Can we all stand up and just sing Shosholoza? Shosholoza, Shosholoza. Kulezo ndaba istimela siphume south. Shosholoza, Shosholoza. Kulezo ndaba istimela siphume south. When uyabaleka, I want to hear the whistles, the whistles, the whistles. Energy, energy, energy. And when you are thank you very much. Professor Hlengiwe Mkhize, the Deputy Minister in the Presidency for Women, Youth, and Persons with Disabilities, His Excellency, the Secretary General of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, Mr. Wamkele, His Excellency Aurélien Lechevallier, Ambassador of France to South Africa, Mr. George Sebulela, in his capacity as a trustee of the board of Brand South Africa. He is my employer, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, I wish to also recognize Ms. Thulisile Manzini over here. And I'm going to just allow the program manager, I'm going to ask the program manager to allow me to do one small gesture, because there are bosses and there are bosses. She has been my boss, and she is not the kind of boss that will pull you down. And I'm going to do this because we are living in trying times because of the COVID-19 pandemic. We have lost lives. And it was her birthday on Saturday. Please, can you just come and accept this? And as we sing her happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Thuli. Happy birthday to you. What's in the box? Imali no my bokis. Ladies and gentlemen, the program director and president of the Circle of Global Business Women, Ms. Sindi Mzamo, the advisory council, the board, the executives, and the members of the Circle of Global Business Women. Congratulations on the official launch of the Circle of Global Business Women. Yes. Thank you for the opportunity for me to share this message of support. Allow me to focus my message on 3 items, which are centered around the slogan of the Circle of Global Business Women, which is network, connect, collaborate. And I will reflect on 3 themes. 1, the power of connecting. 2, the power of networking. And 3, the power of collaborating. First, the power of connecting. I note that one of the aims of the Circle of Business Women is to create #power circles. I must say that I feel that I have come full circle myself because of our esteemed keynote speaker for today, Professor Hlengiwe Mkhize, because she also used to be my boss at the Department of Economic Development. I am mentioning her because her leadership approach is in line with the essence of what the Circle of Global Business Women stands for. That is, lifting other women as we rise. And this was mentioned by the French ambassador during his speech earlier. Professor Hlengiwe Mkhize used to be called my mom, funny enough, Madam President, because she took me with her everywhere where she went when I was working under her leadership. And she would allow me to play a prominent role in her presence. And whilst it is customary that when you are government officials and you come with your minister in a room, you sit at the back, Umama Hlengiwe Mkhize would say, come and sit in front with me. Come to the front seat. And I'm sharing this to encourage each of us to be each other's lifters, to be each other's connectors, to be, our divine connectors, help each other grow. And allow me then to use this opportunity to thank Mama Professor Hlengiwe Mkhize for being a true example of the saying that goes, your light doesn't dim when you give someone else's flame. Your light doesn't dim when you ignite someone else's flame. It just makes the world shine much brighter. Amen or amandla kulondawo, whichever you prefer. Secondly, the power of networking. I met Sister Sindi Mzamo, whom we call Madam President, when we were part of an investment delegation, and I met her in a bus. The bus was full, and the only seat that was available was the one next to her. So we could have chosen to just take the seat and do what people do these days, just grab your phone and start looking at your phone. However, and we could have just minded our own business because we were part of a delegation and we're going from one place to another. However, my sister and I here chose to use the opportunity of meeting each other for the first time to get to know each other. And we networked for the whole trip, from one venue to another. This, to me, illustrates that the opportunity to network is all around us. All that we need to do is to open our eyes to see. But most of all, through the trying times that we've all gone through globally, one thing I ask is that we must be kind to one another. Thirdly, the power of collaborating. I understand that the Circle of Global Businesswomen is asking us to leverage on resources and create a global community of women who are empowered. This I see to mean that we should each utilize the organizations, the platforms that we have to share information, to share ideas. The global economy is changing. It needs female entrepreneurs. It needs female innovators. It needs female change makers. It needs those who will be equal players in harnessing the opportunities presented by the various sectors of the economy. The world needs women, young and old, to solve some of the problems and the challenges that the world is facing today, thereby leading to female social entrepreneurs, female scientists, female engineers, female mathematicians, fields which were dominated by men in the past. I urge that, though, and I underline this, I urge that in doing so, we do not leave men behind. Let's clap for Mr. Buku. Let us not leave men behind. We must continue to strengthen the men's movement so that men can play a meaningful role in contributing to the change of behavior and the breaking of stereotypes towards the goal of gender equality. And so before I conclude my message, I would like to present the founder of the Circle of Global Businesswomen with a specially curated gift. Can you please come over here, my sister? And I'm going to ask that you help us open it this way. If there could be a second hand. Now, ladies and gentlemen, This is symbolic in 3 ways. 1, it is the logo of the Circle of Global Business Women. 2, it is made by a young woman who used the challenge of COVID-19, where she got retrenched, she went into a state of depression, and so this became therapy for her, to use string to create art. And she learned a new skill in the form of string art and has founded a company in 2020 called GMC String Art. Her name is Khonsi. And the third reason why this is symbolic is that, to me, the interconnectedness that we are as global business women is illustrated. If you look at this, it's 3D. It's illustrated by the strings that are connecting. You know, this is how we are all connecting. Madam President, thank you for being a visionary. We wish that the circle of global women will grow from strength to strength. This is for your office. It's heavy. It's quite heavy. It's for the wall. And this is an original artwork by Khonsi. I've just asked Khonsi to run and come here so that she can join us during lunch. And so I'm going to ask that we allow her just, you know, for anyone who wants to see her, For this is the work of her hands, string by string. She's coming. She's on her way. Now, to conclude, I note that there are 3 pillars of the Circle of Business Women. 1 is innovation, 2 is leadership, and the 3rd is empowerment. Let me share with you my favorite poem so that I can ignite the leader in each and every one of us. It is called A Return to Love by Marianne Williamson. Hey, I wanted this to be off. The poem goes, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light and not our darkness that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightening about shrinking so that other people will not feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We are born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us. It is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. And as we are liberated from our own fears, our presence automatically liberates others.
Thank you for inviting me to give this message of support to the Circle of Business Women. It's my pleasure to share with you my thoughts on the African Continental Free Trade Area and how we can work together to create opportunities for women in business and for women in trade. As I've noted in the past, if this agreement, in its implementation, the benefits are not shared by all segments of society, particularly those segments of society that previously have been left behind by trade agreements, it's not going to succeed. And so we have to work very, very closely with women in trade, with women in business, with women who are exporters, with women who are traders. We have to work very closely to find ways in which we can provide concrete platforms for benefiting women under this agreement. We know that in Africa, the informal sector is driven largely by women, and we know that in Africa, the border economy is largely driven by women in trade. And therefore, it's very, very important that in recognition of this critical role that women play in Africa's economy, it's important that the African Continental Free Trade Area finds expression and makes expression for women in trade and women in business. We will start soon a negotiation of a protocol for women and young people in trade, a protocol that will give legal codification to the objectives of creating opportunities for women and young people in trade and in business. And I hope that this protocol will improve the conditions of and create opportunities for women in trade. We are working with UNDP as well as with UN Women towards a conference in July, later this year, a conference where we will bring together business women, women in trade on the African continent. We will bring them together so that we collectively find solutions to the challenges that women face when they attempt to access benefits of trade agreements. And I would invite you to be part of that dialogue that we will soon announce the date and whose outcomes will be absolutely critical to the protocol on women and young people in trade that I've just referred to. So I wish you very good luck in your deliberations, and I look forward to working with you in future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Your Excellency, Wamgele Mene. We are indeed humbled and honored for this powerful message. This is not only for women in South Africa, this is for women in Africa. Can we give ourselves a round of applause for that? I have my dearest sister, I love her so much, a representative from UNIDO. Please, my sister, come on stage. Yes, I've taken you by surprise. You didn't know that. Come. Just 1 minute. What, Mike?
I am taken by surprise. Good morning, everyone, and thank you to the program director for allowing me to make myself known. It's actually not myself that I want to be known, but just to say that I am the coordinator for economic empowerment of women in green industry, and I think it's a privilege to be here and a privilege to be collaborating and connecting with you, because I think one of the ways forward in recovering in the future and taking the world forward requires us to keep our eyes open for definitely a sector which has been male-dominated in the past, and one that I think I'd like to see a whole lot more women participating in. We're about to release a report soon that dictates and explains what we found, both in South Africa and the other 3 participating countries, and I'm happy to, through your organization, allow people to have access and communicate with us on the way forward. Thank you very much.
We like approbations. We like, my sister? Yes, sorry. We like approbations. I said UNIDO.
Oh, sorry.
Can we just tell the audience what UNIDO stands for?
Oh, okay, sorry. UNIDO is obviously part of the 17 UN organizations in South Africa, and it stands for the United Nations Industrial Development Organization. And we've done a lot of work in Africa, internationally, and in South Africa, particularly in terms of sustainable development around things like energy and climate. We're even working with the development of essential oils in South Africa, low carbon transport, clean tech. So there's a lot of work that I think resonates with what you are trying to achieve. And that's the broader area of work that is covered. And also, obviously, UNITA works in the SADC region, and I think those are all important points for me to unpack what UNITA stands for. And are you happy with that?
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And we will be meeting with the French Embassy soon to actually take the relationship further. Our dearest sister, thank you very much for honoring the invite. We're really humbled and honored for you to be here today. Thank you very much. Now, I want to call my dearest sister, Sis Angie from MTN Foundation. Where are you? Come. Mr. Selepe from MTN Foundation, where are you? MTN Foundation, South Africa! Hello, yellow, hello! Hello, yellow, hello!
We wish that we could stay at Jabolane. Jabolane. The people sing and dance. Jabolane. There's always just a chance. Jabolane. For you to find romance. Jabolane.
Thank you very much. This event was not going to be an event without MTN Foundation. Indeed, as the Circle of Global Business Women, we are connected. We have the network. And the network is Hello Yellow. Hello Yellow. Thank you very much. We've got 20 iPads that were donated by MTN Foundation South Africa to our 20 women that are going to go through an incubation program. And I'm sure they're here today. Can you stand up and see how many are we that are here today to receive their iPads, their tablets? You hand over the tablets. Can you come on stage and receive your tablet, please? Sanitizer. This is sanitizer. Thank you. Yes, thank you very much to the MTN Foundation South Africa. As the Circle of Global Business Women, we're really humbled indeed to have a strategic partnership with the foundation because they work with women, they work with youth. You see, the good thing about the MTN Foundation South Africa, they're also in Africa. So when we leave in South Africa, we're connecting to Africa, Mr. Peku. We're still going to be working with MTN in Africa, developing the women, empowering the women, looking at the connections that our dearest sister has mentioned, looking at, the empowerment of women globally. I think I'll want to hand over just 1 minute. Thank you. Sis Angie.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and all protocol observed, because I've just been given a minute. I think as a MTNSA Foundation, we are very, very humbled and excited at the same time, because when we received a call and a request from Sindi to be part of this initiative, we're very excited. We focus on women and youth empowerment through entrepreneurship programs, and we have an SMME program that we've run over 7 years, focusing on small businesses in ICT specifically. And what we've witnessed is that there are very, very few women in the ICT sector. And we've been struggling to recruit and get women to come in the program. And when we saw this opportunity, we said, we can just plug in and make the pipeline to feed into our program. So women who are in ICT, please, we invite you for the 2022 program. Please talk to us. I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We're really humbled and honored indeed as the Circle of Global Business Women to partner with MTN Foundation. And it's nice to be connected, hey? When you don't have a network, you're frustrated. Network is very important. Data is very important. We're talking about, you know, the new normal. The new normal doesn't work without the network. So we need that network as the Circle of Global Business Women, and MTN has the network. Thank you so much. And we have our dearest sister here. I just wanted to stand up. She's the former Mrs. Globe Africa 2019, but she's also the member for Circle of Global Business Women. Thank you so much. The beauty with brains. You know, we always talk about the inner beauty. The women in the Circle of Global Business Women have the inner beauty, and they have brains too. Thank you so much. And before we move to the live messages of support, I have our dearest sister who has actually written a message of support. She is the president of World Women Leading Change. The Royal Highness Princess Debbie Dineo Raputi, she is the Africa president for the World Women Leading Change in Africa. I don't know, but she says, dear Bishop, President. I'm a daughter of a bishop, let me admit that. World Women Leading Change takes this opportunity. Wish you a successful, problem-free, God-centered launch of your organization. The Circle of Global Business Women. This is history in making. 15th April 2021 will remain in our minds and hearts as South Africa and Africa globally. Can you give her the round of applause? Also, I'd like to greet our honored ambassadors globally that are watching this, virtual session taking place in South Africa, connecting from South Africa to the world. We are really humbled as well for you to do the connection, and all the guests globally that are watching this virtually, globally. We are humbled and honored. We are nothing without you. Thank you very much for the support that you are giving us, even virtually now. Being briefed about the comments that are coming through, and I'm told our YouTube is really amazing, and thank you very much for the messages that you are giving us, the messages of support. We are humbled and honored. Thank you so much. Keep on sending those messages virtually. We want to see them. Yay! Now we're going to actually go back to our virtual messages. We'll start by our Women Leadership Champion within the Circle of Global Businesswomen, Professor Bonang Mohale.
My name is Bonang Mohale. I'm the Chancellor of the University of the Free State, Professor of Practice at the Johannesburg Business School. I'm the Chair of both Bidvest and SBV services. What the pandemic has done is to demonstrate beyond any shadow of doubt that just like poverty, the pandemic still has primarily a black and feminine face. Because this virus has killed more black people and more women, for the simple reason that these are the two groups that suffer from concomitant diseases that are at their weakest, that are not benefiting from decades of good nutrition, and as a result, because of their exclusion, the subjugation, the oppression, they are found to be the most vulnerable. But also at the time that 35% of the Fortune 500 companies don't even have a single woman on their board. That here in South Africa, 27 years into democracy, women account for 51% of the 60 million South Africans. And yet, therefore, there's a particular role that men must play in ensuring that they help, they assist, they facilitate in bringing down the proverbial glass ceiling, which has now metastasized into being a concrete ceiling. Men are beneficiaries of patriarchy because society expects men to be successful, to be managing directors, to be president, to be CEOs. It's more forgiving, understanding, and accommodating. The world of work is not only foreign to women, it's outrightly hostile. So it behooves us as men to break this self-perpetuating vicious cycle of abject poverty. A poor mother brings up poor children. The only way to come up with an interventionist, strategic action is for men to take it upon their own shoulders. Because if we don't do that, you see, men find it easy because of the way the rewards are given, but also recruitment happens to continue to see merit in people that look like them, that are part of the same language, that has the same deportment. Men still feel uncomfortable to be in the presence of women because then they can't be themselves, unlearned and uncouth, in the presence of dignified greatness from the pool of excellence. Therefore, as men, we must put systems and processes in place, because if we don't, we'll continue to see merit in those that look like us, and conferring rewards, recognition, but also recruitment from our own progeny, and that progeny will continue for the next generation to come. Therefore, we need to be good mentors as far as leadership is concerned. We need to be good coaches inside companies to counsel, coach, and hold by the hand that this is how things are done, but with an absolute understanding that we bring women to come in with a fresh and new perspective, because the skills of the 21st century that are needed are found naturally in women. Lastly, we need men to be sponsors of women. These are the people that are heavily invested, that have made it their own business, who make it their business to know that when we have set a target of 3 for that year, women have exceeded that target of 5 before even the half year is gone. So if we are looking for a general manager, we then say, have we thought of Mesibiletso, of Mematab, of Medical Aid? because these are the 4 things that they've done exceptionally well. So I wish you everything of the best. The struggle continues because we should not rest until the majority of women have assumed their rightful place in the white corporate agenda, when we are broadly reflective of the demographics. Because affirming women is a planned and positive process and strategy that is aimed at transforming the socio-economic environment that have excluded individuals from previously disadvantaged groups, in order for these individuals to gain access to opportunities, including developmental opportunities based on their suitability. My grandmother used to say, the most persistent and urgent question of the day is, what are you doing for others? Because a candle loses nothing by lighting another candle. In fact, it gains more light. Wish you everything of the best. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Davisha L. Johnson, and I represent the United States and Ghana as the founder and global board chairwoman of the African Women in Agriculture Alliance, better known as AWIA. I would like to thank all of you for joining us today for the launch of the Circle of Global Business Women, and a special thank you to Madam President Sindi Mzamo for her confidence and willingness to allow me and my work to be included in this global network of businesswomen. To all of our dignitaries, special guests, speakers, in-person and online attendees, I want to thank you in advance for your support of the Circle of Global Businesswomen. I would like to start my remarks today with something I feel is very important, that we all begin this journey with the realization of what is the Circle of Global Businesswomen about, what it means to me and to the African Women in Agriculture Alliance. Number one, the Circle of Global Businesswomen is a unique organization that was established by African women and women dedicated to Africa, and aims to elevate African women to global forums and markets. This really spoke to me as I have my own personal journey of returning to Africa as a descendant of an African woman, and as one of the missions of AWIA is to build wealth through women of African descent through agriculture. The Circle of Global Businesswomen provides a space to elevate women. Number two, the Circle of Global Businesswomen is a global network of intelligent and innovative women who are authentic in their endeavors to create a leadership shift globally. Through my personal education in architecture, construction management, political science, and agriculture, I have learned the power of education and how it can spark new ideas for the next generation. By supporting women of agriculture in Africa, AWIA creates a space for people like me and all of our global members to be their authentic selves. As women need to be confident, resilient, and proud to be able to be a woman in agriculture and have the shift through the globe that we are all in great need for. The Circle of Global Businesswomen provides a space for leadership. Number three, the Circle of Global Businesswomen supports the rise of women leaders globally and urges them to shatter glass ceilings in various fields. As we all know, Africa feeds the world. We also know that 80% of the farm industry on the African continent is performed by women. We also know that agriculture is the next frontier for the development of the continent, especially with the launch of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, the KDEP of the Malabo Declaration, the AU Agenda 2063, and the UN SDG Goals 1, 2, 5, 8, 11, 13, 14, 15, and 17. The Circle of Global Businesswomen provides a space to network in order to build a mighty fist to shatter those ceilings, roofs, and reach the sky. Finally, number four. The Circle of Global Businesswomen embodies a female wave of change and a power circle of women leading that change. Madam President Sindi reached out to me through a WhatsApp group after seeing a posting I made about the African Women in Agriculture Alliance. Her message was simple. Let's see how we can partner together. So, as a millennial, I Google researched her, and when I saw the words that I've just read to you, it really spoke to me about what the Circle of Global Business Women was, and I immediately knew I wanted to be a part of this power circle of women, women that are leading change. As a young Black woman, single mother of 4, and serial entrepreneur and global citizen myself, I knew I had found my tribe with the Circle of Global Business Women. When I spoke to Madam President, just a couple of hours later, it was like we were long-lost relatives catching up on generations of what we have missed. So Madam President told me of her story of growing up on her grandmother's farm and understanding the importance of agriculture to the world, and how Awia was just the missing piece she was looking for. Well, on today, Madam President of the Circle of Global Business Women, as we launch this new endeavor, I am proud to say that this network is my missing piece and provides a space for change for myself, all of the members of the 150 cities in 5 different continents of Awia, Africa as a whole, and thus the world for the next generations to come. My name is Devisha L. Johnson, and as the founder and global board chairwoman of the African Women in Agriculture Alliance, I am proud to be a global partner of the Circle of Global Business Women and look forward to building generational wealth, future leaders, and empower women of African descent in agriculture worldwide through the Circle of Global Business Women. Thank you, and I will see you somewhere around the world.
To Sindi Mzamo, the founder and president of the Circle of Global Business Women, to all the members and all the guests who are part of this amazing event, bonjour. I bring you greetings from America by way of Atlanta, Georgia. I'd first like to say congratulations, President Sindi. Your hard work, your prayers, your tenacity, your resilience, and your stick-to-itiveness is paying off. And we are all so thankful that you're in there, that you're hanging in there, continuing to smile, continuing to be strong, and continuing to be the leader that you are. So congratulations. And I really appreciate, as a businesswoman who's the founder and CMO of Rumble Worldwide, I appreciate the opportunity to be one of your strategic partners in America. And, you know, as I started to think about this presentation, I zeroed in on the logo that President Sindi has selected for her brand. And we know, obviously, it's a circle. And we now know that a circle is a symbol. And it symbolizes timelessness. It symbolizes self. It symbolizes God, who is the center of everything and everywhere. And the symbol of a circle also meets us where we are, you know, as humans. And when you take that into consideration alongside of the fact that the color black is the context of the circle, is powerful, because for the most part, we all know that the color black in our societies, various societies, have symbolized something dark and negative. But, you know, when it comes to business, and the word business comes from the word busy, and as women, we are busy staying in the black or trying to get into the black, because when you're in the black, guess what? You are profiting. You have revenue. And so being in the black is a good thing when you are in business. And so Sindi's vision is for us to, if we're not already in the black, it's to get into the black. And so I can appreciate being in a circle that is in the black, being part of a network that's in the black, and looking at the color black as a powerful opportunity for not just black people or women, but all people who have a goal of being successful business people. So it's an honor, again, it's a privilege to be operating and working with you all in the black. And so we are planning a huge event in Atlanta next year, September 2022. Sindi, President Sindi is part of that event. She's one of our speakers. Love for you all to pack your bags, come to Atlanta, the International Day of Unity. Again, thank you for this opportunity. I'm so excited for the Circle of Global Businesswomen. Thank you, my friend Romay Harding, for making this connection. I appreciate you all. I love you all. God bless you. Until we talk again.
Come. Thank you very much to the powerful sisters in the United States of America. That's what the Circle of Global Businesswomen is all about. The Circle is about connecting with gentle giants like Davisha, gentle giants like Majé, gentle giants that have a vision of taking women to global markets, gentle giants that have a vision of lifting up other women. This is who we are as the Circle of Global Businesswomen. Thank you very much for the powerful message that you've given us. Our dearest sister, she's here. Told she's sitting at the back. I gym Salela, so I'll carry this. Yeah. When Salela was handing over this present to me, she said it's heavy, but I'm just carrying it with on my one hand. That's life, hey? Can I help you? Yeah. I want you to explain to the audience that is sitting in this house, to the virtual audience that is looking at this beautiful piece, and the intelligence that I see in you, and the inner beauty that I see in you of this powerful piece: connection, networking, collaboration. Remember, we say collaboration is the new competition. Let's collaborate. I'll send behind.
Good day, everybody. My name is Khunzi. I'm from a small town in Mpumalanga called Pake. And how this came about, the stress that we all had through COVID. I'm a former beauty therapist, and it was a thing of, am I going back to work? Are they retrenching? What's gonna happen? One morning I woke up, almost got into depression, and I decided I need to do something about this long holiday, free holiday that we're getting. I took one of my dad's pieces. He used to do this way, way before I was born. I looked at it, and what happened was, I said to myself, I don't have anything in my account, but the last that I have, something can bring me something else. I can add on to what I have. And I decided, quick drive, went to the shops, I bought small materials, small pins, small wools, off-cut piece of wood from hardware, and I did like 2 pieces. From 2 pieces came 15 pieces. From 15 pieces, it was social media advertising. And what I got, the response that I got was, why are you sitting with so much talent? Then I told everybody, I didn't know I've got that artist thing in me. I'm a beauty therapist. I know I love working with my hands, but art is not something that I ever thought of. I wanted to play soccer. I wanted to be a model. I want to be a DJ. I've never thought of art. Since then, it was a hobby. Fortunately, went back to work. Unfortunately, I fell very, very ill, where I could not even get tests from the doctors. I decided, let me take a risk and continue with my string art. And I had to leave my job. Fortunately, I don't have a big cycle of friends, but I had a lot of people who were willing to connect. Do this, I've got a connection of whoever. Do this, I've got a connection of whoever. And thanks to social media, it's quite powerful. And this since I started, I've learned so much about how one can be so powerful, how much power we have. I've been working alone since everybody wants to collaborate, everybody wants to do something with me, and I'm like, I'm not saying no, but I'm saying let me discover that direction that I need to take. I'm still learning. This was self-taught. I've never been to school for art, and it's still a long way to go. Every order that I get, it's a challenge for me, because everybody's sending a different picture. Everybody's sending whatever they like. I have to take it and make sure that my pins recreate the picture that they want, in the colors that they want, in the size that they wanted. And what I love most is doing deliveries after doing my orders. The smile on their faces. I'm sure you guys also had a lovely smile. And thanks to Sis Pumela, I'd say thanks to Somizi for getting me, most people, to connect me to her. She placed an order for all of you guys so she can present it to you. And it's an honor for me to be here. Thank you so much.
Can you look at me? Do you see my smile? I'm actually, honestly, so humbled.
Thank you.
This is really from the bottom of my heart. This is powerful. This is amazing. Keep on the good work that you're doing. This is what we call creativity at its best. This is a gift that you have. Continue with this gift, and you're going to be blessed globally. And we're looking, connecting with you, and working with you as the Circle of Global Businesswomen. You can't do something nice like this for us, and we just fold our arms. All our visual ambassadors, please connect. All our virtual guests that are watching this powerful launch, looking at this beautiful piece. Please, technical team, I want this to be shown virtually. Thank you. This is powerful.
Can I just say something? Please follow my page on Instagram, GMC_stringart. Facebook is GMC String Art, and on Twitter is GMC_stringart1. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Before we call our last two speakers, I have a beautiful lady that I connected with through Facebook, Mr. Beku. This is what she does. She's just here, Tandi in the house. Tandi, come through. This is the amazing piece that she does with a South African flag, and also doing some beautiful creative, hats. And she is actually working with a lot of global people. Sis Pumela Salela connected her with a lot of UK clients. So we're looking at connecting with our South African ambassadors globally, so that when they attend their official events, we want to see their official South African flag in their heads. And this is the agenda that we're going to drive after the launch for the Circle of Global Businesswomen. Thank you for the connection, Tandi. We're humbled and honored to work with you, sis. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sis Pumela.
Okay, this is, it is so funny.
Times changed, like the weather. However, don't be mad.
Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity. It is so funny that we were speaking while she was in the UK, that she wants me to create a piece for you. We were supposed to originally meet tomorrow. So I slept at 1 a.m. because I got a call yesterday that I have to come here. So I didn't make her hat, I had to make yours, because I'm coming here. And this is no coincidence. This is God. Yes.
My God.
So, as you know, I'm the UK country head for Brand South Africa, and it is my mission and vision that South African brands go global. So maybe she can tell her story about exhibiting in London. However, I had asked her to make a tailor-made hat for Madam President. And she did research. A lot of work went into this hat. She did her research, and I like that because it shows a spirit of excellence. It shows professionalism. Oh, okay. Thank you. This gives me freedom. Good composure. So I asked her to make a hat for Madam President, and I Googled Madam President, and I sent her all the pictures of you in all the various, fields or roles that you've played. And then she then came up with the realization that you love the color red. So she did her homework as well. And so I'd like her to open then what I had curated her to make for you. She didn't sleep.
Oh my God. Oh my God, just look at this.
Whew. So that's a specially made hat for you. And if you allow her then, program director, she can tell her story about her hat making.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Sis Pumela. I started this business 2 years ago. I grew up in a church, Old Apostolic Church, where we wear hats. So I was inspired by the hats, but I've always had a void that I want to create something that is unique for each and every woman. Then my grandmother gave me 2 hats that were Australian wool felt. This is Australian wool felt, it's imported. Yes. So any condition, that hat. So these hats are 40 years old. My grandmother gave them to me. And then I said, this is it. But to me, it was therapeutic. It was not for you, for anybody. It was just for me. Then a friend introduced me to Sis Pumela. And then Sis Pumela said, the world has to see you. And I was like, I'm not ready. I don't believe in myself so much. There's a saying that says, behind every successful man, there's a woman. But behind my success, there's Sis Pumela. I am because of her. People have millionaires. I'm a millionaire. They prepare for this exhibition that happens annually in London. Globally, women go there. They prepare for a year. And I was only given 1 month because she introduced it to me, and then it was due in the next month. And I was supposed to pay 7,500 rands. I received a receipt that it was paid, and she paid it for me. Now the world knows me because of her. Everything that happens is because of her. So if you see me, I am because of Pumela. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. You know, I'm really emotional now because this is not a coincidence. This is God, Mtipeku. What is happening in this stage, we're witnessing the grace of God. We're witnessing the power of God within our lives as women, connecting globally. We didn't know each other. I didn't even know that she knows Sis Pumela when I connected with her on Facebook. I just liked what she does. But I only discovered this morning that she knows my dearest sister. And if I can actually share a story about Sis Pumela, when we connected in that bus where we were invited by His Excellency President Ramaphosa, it was only the ambassadors of South Africa in foreign countries. There we are, because I was, you know, when you are a daughter or a child that is brought up in a Christian background, in a political house, you always observe protocol. Now I was even scared to sit with the ambassadors. Both of us, we ended up clinging to this chair because we were running away from the ambassadors because we understand protocol that we can't sit with them. And here we are connecting with Sis Pumela. Says, tell me who you are. And I started. I'm Sindi, the president for Circle of Global Business Women. And the next thing, I'm speaking in London during COVID, there is no webinar that Pumela actually facilitated in London that I didn't speak, Mr. Peku. And I'm known globally. And one funny part, I was connected to another lady after my speech where I did a tribute to my dearest sister, Sis Zinzi Mandela. May her soul rest in peace. And this lady said to me, I thought you were from Scotland because your accent, it doesn't reflect as if you're a South African. And I said, yes, I did my studies in London in the UK. And today, from the bottom of my heart, from really bottom of my heart, Sis Pumela, thank you very much. Thank you. This is what the connection of women, this is what we need to do. We are sisters. Let us stop pulling each other down, women. Let us stop it. Let's stop fighting one another. Let us embrace each other. Stop being jealousy when you see another person prospering. Embrace that person. We are showcasing what the circle of global business women is in the stage. And I want all of us today to leave this room knowing what is the circle of global business women. We have just demonstrated the circle of global business women. And let us carry that mantra. Let us pull each other up all the time. Let us support each other. Let us stand for each other. Let us, embrace each other. Thank you so much, Ms. Pumela. I know you're emotional. I'm emotional too, but I'm a program director, so I'm holding myself. Thank you very much, my dear sister. May God bless you. May God enlarge your territory. May God, favor you. May God give you all what you want in your life. Thank you so much, sis. Now, our two powerful women, I know I'm calling a gentle giant. These are two women that I've worked with very closely, that I know when they come to the stage, they will speak to what we've seen here. The Chief Operating Officer for 22 on Sloan, a sister of mine who opened the door for me, Mr. Ku, when I walked into this office. I became part and parcel of the executive management of 22 on Sloan, and yet I'm the president for the Circle of Global Business Women. That's how she embraced me. Kamu, come, dearest sister. I see you, my sisters, you come. I see you. I see you. I see you. Yes, I see you.
Let me just gather myself for a moment. It's quite a powerful, exceptional launch. It's just redefining what it means to be co-creating and collaborating with women. And the only thing I can do right now is literally build on everything that has been said today in terms of changing our mindset shift when it comes to what it means to be a woman and how we can just realize so much more opportunities. As mentioned, my name is Gamu Motezo, and I'm the Chief Operations Officer here at 22 on Sloan. So observing all protocol, once again, I just want to welcome you to 22 on Sloan. To give you a bit of context about where you are, in 2017, we hosted a global event known as the Global Entrepreneurship Congress, GEC. It was one of the most phenomenal activities we've ever done because our interest as 22 on Sloan, it's for startups by startups. When we did that, plus minus 10,000 people came to the event. And one of the key things we capitalized on was the knowledge. Where are the Africans? What are they up to? How are they seeing entrepreneurship? I have my phone. What we realized is that there's so much research, right, in terms of what's happening on the continent. But some of this research illustrated that businesses leave the continent because they don't have co-working spaces where they can co-create, collaborate, and literally just understand what it means to be an entrepreneur. Short story, this place was then born. So the idea is twofold. From a physical perspective, to have these conversations happening, to have the collaborations and the networking, you should be able to walk out of that door feeling invigorated to continue within the space of entrepreneurship. You should be able to come into this space knowing that whatever it is you may need, whether it's content, whether it's programs, this is the space where you can find all of those things together. We cannot do this by ourselves. We need both private and public partnership, and that's what we bring forth. So as 22 on Sloan, we've got a footprint through the Gen Africa platform in 42 other African countries, meaning that when brothers and sisters are in the country and they're looking for where is that place to find entrepreneurs, to impart knowledge, to look for partnerships, 22 on Sloan becomes the place of interest. Similarly, for our South African entrepreneurs who want to explore what the continent has to offer, whatever country they decide to knock onto, at least they know there's someone to welcome them. After all, it is an African thing. Oh, you're going to Tanzania? I know my uncle, sisters, whoever. Yes, that's us when it comes to, okay, I was hoping for a giggle, but clearly that did not work out. Thank you. So that's what this is all about. And as Sindi says, when she walked in, my gosh, what a queen. I had to open the door. I mean, I was like, in fact, just be part of the executive management. And she is such a ball of energy. When she started sharing what the Circle of Global Business Women is all about, we saw instant synergies. Because for us, entrepreneurship is one of those things that should not be put in a box when it comes to what women can do. Right? There are T's and C's that have impeded, and we see it within the programs that we have, whether it's acceleration or incubation, that in most cases it's more of male-owned businesses that would capitalize on the programs compared to the female-owned businesses, right? And it's not just because of the social dynamics, but just having a platform that brings the ladies together and churn the entrepreneurial mindset. I like what the lady said in terms of just knowing there's person A, person B, and getting to the stage in London and doing what she did. So going forward, Sindi, we are absolutely delighted to have you as part of our furniture. Yes, part of our furniture. And just to continue co-creating, because the work that we do together goes beyond an individual. It's actually supposed to live up to the vision and the mission that we say we want to achieve in terms of seeing more female entrepreneurs doing their thing. So with that in mind, a very warm congratulations on this wonderful launch, and we'll continue to see each and every one of you within the streets of Sloan, co-creating, networking, collaborating. Ladies, gentlemen, please do the things. When you leave out here, you must really feel that you've attained the value, because that's what we are aiming to do through the collaboration. Once again, a very warm thank you for gracing us with your time. You could have been online, and yes, to those who are online, we welcome your time as well. We just really appreciate that we're able to realize this together. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Sis Musa Chabalala. Thank you very much, Dongalga Mavuso. I must declare my interest. She's my sister. She is the Group CEO for the Gauteng Growth Development Agency. We're humbled and honored to have you. The floor is yours. I know you're rushing to Pretoria, so I'm not going to do the introduction. But thank you so much, Dong.
Good afternoon, everybody. And maybe let me start by, of course, observing all protocol, but congratulations, my sister, for a very necessary and important initiative. You know, as a young female CEO of a very large organization, the Gauteng Growth and Development Agency, in the largest economy in the country, you can appreciate the amount of pressure and expectation that sits on your shoulders. And I think the importance of initiatives like this really is that as females, in every respect, because sometimes people think leadership is about being in a position somewhere, but it's not. If you're part of a family, you lead your family, even if you're a sibling. If you have a group of friends, you are a leader in some respect, even in your social circles. So leadership comes with pressures and challenges and stresses, and the inability to find communities and networks of people to strengthen you in that role and in that capacity is what potentially leads to your lack of success. And so initiatives like this today are critical, where we find each other and we create the necessary communities and support structures. And I thought in speaking about why this is so important and why women taking up leadership spaces is so important is two examples I learned from an engineer 2 years ago at the at one of the conferences I was a part of. The name escapes me now. But the first thing, and she was speaking from her field of engineering, is motor vehicles, so cars, and the concept of cars and the design of cars were designed by a male engineer. But seat belts and the concept of a seatbelt and the design of a seatbelt were designed by a female engineer. Because what she realized was that women sit at the back with the children, and usually in those days, men were the drivers. And every time there was an accident, it was not just the driver who was getting injured, it was the people at the back as well. And no one was thinking about that, and the impact of it was being felt so severely. And so a seatbelt was designed by a woman. And another example she gave was with regards to guns. Guns and the concept of a gun was designed by a man, and the concept of a bullet was designed by a man. But bulletproof vests were designed by a female engineer. And the reason I carry that story so strongly, even in my spirit, is because there is no fight between genders. There's just a need for us to appreciate that there is such deep value for all of us to co-create. Thanks. And our inability to do that means that the solutions that are already out there or that must be created for the future that we all want to see and live in cannot be balanced or meaningful if they are one-sided. So my message to women, and I always say this especially to young women, is to say, but this is to all women, is to say there is no room for you to ask for permission to take up space. No one is going to give you that permission. And no one is sitting there worrying whether you are at the table or you are taking space when you are at the table. So stop asking for permission. Just do it. Learn, make your mistakes, intimidate yourself. Don't be intimidated by environments. Intimidate yourself. Make your boldness be what intimidates you more than anything else. Make your ambition be what intimidates you more than anything else. And appreciate that the perspective and the position and the value which you bring to any situation is like no other. No man can think like a woman they are not designed to. No woman can think like a man we are not designed to. So co-creation is how we are designed, and co-creation is actually the solution that we are all looking for. So as we all journey, as we all move through this space successfully, I think my closing message to everybody here and everybody who will join even in the future is to say there's no competition. Your ideas, your problems, you have the responsibility to bring them to fruition. So take up space, do it with an intention to collaborate, but even when there is no collaboration opportunity, do it anyway. Do it and fail 1,000,000 times and keep doing it anyway. Trust yourself, trust yourself, because as you do that, other people find the ability and see the value in trusting you too. But it has to start. You can never ask externally what you're not offering internally. And women sometimes feel like, you know, it's not my space, I have to wait. No. You're going to wait for decades and centuries and eternities. That's just not what the world needs. The world needs us, the world needs our ideas, and the world needs our gentleness in approach. And so, you know, in closing, another very good and important friend and supporter of this very important institution that you are creating, my board chairman, Mr. Enes Mhlaule. In our discussion yesterday, I said, what message do you want me to bring across today? And he said, remind everybody that everything that you start must be sustainable, but sustainability is not about popularity. Sustainability rests in your ability to remain relevant. And on that note, I would like to wish everybody well. Always good health and well-being. Take care of ourselves because we are in a war, and now the war is virus versus vaccine. And stay well, stay healthy, and take up space.
Thank you, Tongalga Mavuso. We're really humbled and honored. A young woman who is a group CEO for a powerful organization in Gauteng, which is Mr. Beku, responsible for all the companies that are coming to South Africa in terms of investment, which is the Gauteng Growth Development Agency under the leadership of Premier David Makura. We're really humbled and honored as well for the powerful message that she has given us. And we'll be they are our strategic partner, and we'll be working very closely with them, looking at programs in partnership with the French South African Chamber of Commerce moving forward. Now, we have our dearest sister, Amy Ashworth, the General Manager for the French South African Chamber of Commerce. I see you, sis, as you walk into the stage. Thank you so much for the support.
Wow. I was going to come up here today and talk about the opportunity that this collaboration, which was recently signed through our MOU today. But actually, I'd like to frame this today as from a position of privilege. So not only would I like to acknowledge protocol, because I too have a political background, but I'd like to extend that protocol and acknowledge all of the leaders sitting in this very room today and connected online. You're acknowledged, and I think this is why we are all here today. So I think a big round of applause to you, and thank you. So as the French South African Chamber of Commerce and Industry, we are quite similar to the Circle of Global Businesswomen, in that we are a network, we connect, and we collaborate. But I think what's happening here today and what this MOU marks is not only a merging or bringing together of these two networks, which undoubtedly does, of course, bring more opportunities and spaces to network and to connect and to collaborate, whether it's from a bus, whether it's from walking the halls of 22 on Sloan, and the opportunities that bring. But I think really what this MOU that we have signed is a formal commitment of not just connecting and working together, but actioning what we can do and being those agents of change. The agents of change that are sitting in this very room today and connected online, and as the two organizations here, making the concerted effort to bring them together in that. And I feel very privileged as also a young woman to be able to be a part of this and be part of that implementation process on that. And the Deputy Minister is no longer here, but if she'll forgive me, I would like to not refer to the MOU as a historic moment, as many of them are, but I'd like to acknowledge it as a moment of the future. And just before coming to this event, I had the privilege to be with a vice president of one of the biggest multinationals in the world, who is a woman leader, a South African woman leading this organization. And we facilitated a talk on sustainability. And it's quite incredible about how these themes have been coming out today. And this discussion really was, yes, on sustainable development goals and working within this global environment, but really it was about integrated sustainability. And I think as women, as young leaders, and as South Africans and Africans in general, we are the key stakeholders in driving sustainability, whether it's political, economic, social, or cultural. We are the key drivers in this. And I think today marks the first step in towards creating that, and it's something I'm very, very privileged to be a part of and to assist where we can. We have my chairman and, of course, Machu Bekyu, as you have now known to everyone as the Gentle Giants, but really you have brought us together in that and been a key stakeholder as well, so thank you very, very much. I don't have a poem to end off with. But this, my new sister, and I can't sing, but my sister did do something earlier, and I'd like to do it again, which take me back to my student activism days, and I'd just like to say, Amandla! 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 Thank you.
Halala, South Africa, halala! Halala, Africa, halala! Halala, South Africa, halala! Thank you, Amy. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, my dearest sister. We're humbled. And our last speaker is going to be my dearest sister. We are actually moving over to the graduation after this. So we will definitely break at 2. By 2:30, we need to be back. So we'll definitely have a finger lunch so that we'll be able to actually move forward to the next graduation ceremony. But I'm going to actually ask my dearest sister, the Secretary General for the Circle of Global Business Women, Ms. Romay Harding, on stage. Before she speaks, this is a gentle giant. Thank you very much, my dearest sister, for the work that you've done as the Secretary General for the organization. We're humbled and honored. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you, everybody, for being here today and protocol observed. I think the speeches have been absolutely so inspiring, and it is such an honor for us all to be part of a circle that we can make a change in the world. And as women, we understand that. We understand what it is to nurture. And I want to thank the men that support us, and in particular to the French Embassy, and to our brother from the French Chamber of Commerce as well for South Africa. So thank you, everybody. And I think, would everybody like to join me today in thanking the founder and the president of the Circle of Global Businesswomen, her tireless, absolute energy, her love, her kindness, her exhilaration to all of us. She is an example to all of us, and her way in which she presents herself and her love for our country, I want to thank her. So please join me all in saying thank you to Sindi. Chabalala. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm not going to go on too long, but what I am going to say is this is such a great opportunity for us all to collaborate, connect, and network. So please enjoy the snacks and take a break, and then we will be seeing our ladies that are graduating today. So thank you, everybody, again. Thank you.
Thank you, SG. It's a snack lunch. By 2:30, we need to be back for the graduation ceremony. And those members that are graduating, you know, you'll be coming up front. You'll have your tag on the front seat. Thank you. É a mesma imagem.
talvez esteja e não consigo ver. Ou talvez esteja porque eu posso sentir, mas não consigo tocar. Esta linha que nos une é também a linha que nos separa, mas não consigo mudar. A linha do horizonte é quase nada, porque sinto estar tão perto.